Hello everyone, this is Matthew Alon. In this video, I will take you through project that will make you more proficient in Microsoft Excel. This video was where people pass Microsoft Office Specialist Excel Expert Certification exam. Now let's go through this project one after the other.
Project 1, Task 1. Rename the bold and black macro. Emphasize. Save the change. Rename the bold and black macro. Emphasize. Save the change. To do this, you go to the View tab, then the Macros group, select the drop down next to macro, and select View Macros. Then right here in the macros macro dialog box, select edit. So carefully delete the bold and black here and replace it with emphasize. Okay, that's done. Just click on file and click save, select save, and click on file again and close, and return to Microsoft Excel. Okay, that is done. Task 1 mark completed. Now task 2. Fill this using the fill series option in Excel. Extend the attendance table to include the remaining months of the year, July through December. Using the fill series option in Excel, extend the attendance table to include the remaining months of the year, July through December. Okay, to do this, you go to the attendance, visitors attendance worksheet, So right here, you click in June, then the cell containing June, and extend it to December. Okay, that is done. So task 2 mark completed. Now task 3. In cell F3 on the paleontology activities worksheet, add a formula that displays yes if the museum or exhibit offers both youth programs and dinosaur digs, else otherwise display no. Populate the minute cells in the column with the same formula. In cell F3 on the paleontology activities worksheet, add a formula that displays yes if the museum or exhibit offers both youth programs and dinosaur digs, else otherwise display no. Populate the remaining cells in the column with the same formula. Okay, to do this, you just select the paleontology worksheet. Okay, then in cell F3, select cell F3. Okay, let's see. Okay, so see everything in the worksheet you have. Cell F3 selected. So add a formula that displays yes if the museum or exhibit offers both youth programs and dinosaur digs. Okay, to do the else otherwise displays no. To do this, so having selected cell F3, type the formula equals to if. Okay, now right here enter and put in the bracket and okay if display yes if the museum or exhibit offers both youth programs and dinosaur digs. Okay, youth programs, okay, that's represented in cell B 3, the 3 equals, okay, so here just this here not, okay, not B3 equals none. Not if B3 equals none. Okay. Equals none. Okay. There's a comma there. V3 equals none. Then this result or exhibit offers use programs or dinosaur digs. Okay, dinosaur digs as E3 or E3 equals, okay, so we're going to place not here. E3 equals yes. Okay, that's yes. Close is bracket is comma. And I have yes. And no. Okay, so that's the formula. The formula that displays yes if the museum or exhibit offers both the program and dinosaur digs, else otherwise displays no. Populate the mini cells in the column with the same formula. Okay, this is done. Press enter. Okay, so the mini cells have been populated with a formula. Okay, so task 3 mark completed. Now task 4, enable the error checking rule that flags numbers formatted as text or preceded with an apostrophe. Enable the error checking rule that flags numbers formatted as text or preceded with an apostrophe. Okay, to do this, you go to the File tab, then select Options and select Formulas. So under the error checking rule, let's drag this one a little bit now. From enable the error checking rule that flags numbers formatted as text or preceded with an apostrophe. Format text or preceded with an, okay, formatted as text or preceded with an apostrophe. So we enable this, then you click OK right here. Okay, I'll be back. So that is done. Task 4 mark completed. Now task 5. On the dinosaur digs offered pivot table, configure the rows field settings for dinosaur digs to insert a black line after each item label. On the dinosaur disk offered pivot table, configure the rows field settings for dinosaur disk to insert a black line after each item label. Okay, so do this. We'll go to the dinosaur disk tab, you click on it, then select the dinosaur disk offered pivot table right here, and this has shown this. Now to configure the row field setting for dinosaur disk, so you have dinosaur disk right here. Okay, now select it and go to the field setting. So right here, select layout and print. On the dinosaur disk offer pivot table, or dinosaur disk offered pivot table, configure the rows field setting for dinosaur disk to insert black line after each item label. So just watch this. Insert black line after each item label. So you select this, check the box here and click OK. So after each label item there's a black line. So task 5 mark completed. Now grade project. Correct. Project 2, Task 1. Using the data on the upskill prices worksheet, add a chart that shows the price at each result for an adult annual pass in US dollar as a clustered column chart, and the price for a child annual pass in US dollar as a secondary axis line chart. Position the chart below the table with the upper left corner of the chart in cell A18. Using the data on the upskill prices worksheet, add a chart that shows the price at each result for an adult annual pass in US dollars as a clustered column chart, and the price for a child annual pass in US dollar as a secondary axis line chart. Position the chart below the table with the upper left corner of the chart in cell A18. Okay, to do this, just go to the upskill prices worksheet, select it, and right here you select the range from column B2 to B16, and you hold down the control key. So adult annual pass. So you just select adult annual pass. That's from E2 to E16. Then child annual pass. You go to child annual pass. You select this. Okay, so you select the insert tab, then the chart group. You select insert combo chart and create a custom combo chart. Right here you select the custom combination, then the adult annual pass as a clustered column chart. Adult annual as a clustered column. So this is clustered column. Cluster. Okay, cluster column chart. Then the child annual pass as a secondary line chart. So secondary. That is done. You just press the enter key. Select secondary here, press the enter key, and move the chart below the table with the upper left corner of the chart in cell A18. Just move this gently down. As it just align cell A18. Okay, so this is done. So A18. So task 1. Task 1 mark completed. Now task 2. On the snowball school enrollment worksheet, add data validation to cell range C3 to C12 that displays the input message. Enter a value between 3 and 10. Title the input message class size. Display a stop error alert with the title, invalid class size, and text must be a minimum of 3 and a maximum of 10 students. When the user enters a value less than 3 or greater than 10, or a number that includes a fraction. So on the snowball school enrollment worksheet, add a data validation to cell range C3 through C12 that displays the input message. Enter a value between 3 and 10. Title the input message class size. Display a stop error alert with the title, invalid class size, and text must be a minimum of 3 and a maximum of 10 students. When the user enters a value less than 3 or greater than 10, or a number that includes a fraction. Now, to do this, we go to the snowball enrollment worksheet, just select it. Okay, so cell range C3 through C12, C3 through C12. Okay, that is done. Then you go to the data tab. In the data tools group, we have the data validation here. Select the drop down arrow and select data validation. So right in the setting, so validation criteria, you select whole number. In between, type the minimum 3, then the maximum 10. Then you select, just click on the input message tab, then the title that displays a message, that displays input message. Enter a value between 3 and 10. And title the input message class size. Okay, the title is class size. So class size colon. Okay, then the input message text, and text must be, just type this, must be a minimum of 3 and maximum of 10 students. Okay, so go to the error alert tab, select it. Okay, stop. Okay, the title, invalid, stop error alert with the title, invalid class size. You type here, invalid class size. Okay, so the error message You type this. Must be a minimum of 3 and maximum of 10 students. Okay. Okay, the input message here will be enter a value between 3 and 10. I display input message, enter a value. So change this, enter a value, enter a value between 3 and 10. Okay, so that's been corrected. Then the error alert, stop error alert message is must be a minimum of 3 and a maximum of 10 students. Okay, this one should have a colon after it, just as it is here. The class size as well as a colon after it. So you can see enter a value between 3 and 10. Therefore, the error alert message must be a minimum of 3 and a maximum of 10 students. Okay, so every other thing has been done well. Okay, so you just click OK. That is it. So that is done. Now, task 2 mark completed. Now task 3. In cell L3 on the Utah scale prices worksheet, calculate the average price of an adult annual pass in US dollar for scale results operating more than 12 lifts and 2,000 acres. In cell L3 on the Utah scale prices worksheet, calculate the average price of an adult annual pass in US dollar for ski resorts operating more than 12 lifts and 2,000 acres. Okay, to do this, just go to the Utah ski prices, select it. So cell L3, go to cell L3 right here. So calculate the average. So just go to the formula bar, select it. So equals to average equals to average using average ifs to find the average for the sales profile by giving set of condition criteria. So call the set of conditions we're given right here. So we select average ifs. Okay, so let's open the function argument wizard. So average range, you calculate the average of an adult annual pass US dollar adult annual pass. So adult annual pass of an adult annual pass. Okay, we select this. Okay, so the criteria range okay, for skill results, so we select place on each 3, so x16. Then the criteria 1 will be for the ski skybo aircraft. Okay, we have that's greater than 2000. Okay, so criteria range 2, we have the number of lifts, that's I3 to I16. Okay, so criteria range 2 will be greater than 12. Greater than 12. Okay, greater than 12. Press the enter key. Okay, that is done. So that is the final formula. So here, so task 3 mark completed. Now task 4, on the ski school enrollment worksheet, create a password protect range from C3 through C12. Name the range enrollment. Use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as the password. On the ski school enrollment worksheet, create a password protected range from C3 through C12. Name the range enrollment. Use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as the password. Okay, to do this, you go to school enrollment worksheet, select it, and select the range C3 to C12. Okay, that's done. Now you go to the review tab, and the protect group, you select allow edit ranges. Okay, so right there you select new, and the title given, name the range enrollment. So here in the title box you type enrollment. So just ensure the spelling is correct. Enrollment. So range password will be 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We click OK, and we enter password to proceed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Click OK, and click OK again. That is done. So task 4 mark completed. Now task 5. Modify the workbook options so only the blue J and chip monk class sizes can be edited when opening the workbook in a browser. Modify the workbook options so only the blue J and chipmunk class sizes can be edited when opening the workbook in a browser. Okay, to do this, just go to the File tab, select the File tab, and go to Info. Scroll down to Browser View Options. Right here. Okay, so you go to click on the parameters tab, select Add. Okay, so only the blue Jay and chipmunk classes. Blue Jay, select this blue Jay, then select chipmunk. Okay, so once that is done, click OK, then click OK. That's the workbook. So task 5 mark completed. Okay, so grade project. Correct. Project 3, task 1. On the session schedule worksheet, insert a function into set G4 that will filter the data in the dive convention exhibitors table to display only the section titles which are scheduled on the day referenced in cell H2. On the session schedule worksheet, insert a function into cell G4 that will filter the data in the dive convention exhibitors table to display only the section titles which are scheduled on the day reference in cell H2. Okay, to do this, you go to the session schedule worksheet, select it. Okay, so to insert a function to cell G4, you select cell G4. Okay, that will filter the data in dive convention exhibitor table. So you go to the formulas bar and type equals to filter. Okay, equals to filter. So you open the function argument wizard, then the array just select from cell A3 down, select the whole table. Okay, so include, so which are referenced on the day reference cell H2. So you go to the day column and select it. So day reference cell H2, so equals to H2. Okay, then leave this empty. And leave this empty. So now you click OK. Okay, that is done. Now task 1 mark completed, and task 2. On the exhibitors worksheet, add a conditional formatting rule to the exhibitor name column that applies a yellow fill with a 6.25% gray pattern in the industry if the industry is clothing and the booth size is more than $1,000. Okay, on the exhibitors worksheet, add a conditional formatting rule to the exhibitor name column that applies a yellow fill with a 6.25% gray pattern if the industry is clothing and the booth size is more than $1,000. Okay, to do this, you go to the exhibitors worksheet, select it, and to add the conditional formatting rule to the exhibitor name. So you select the exhibitor name column. Okay, that's done. Then you go to the conditional formatting located on the home and the styles group is like the conditional formatting, and new rule. Okay, right here in the new formatting rule dialog box is select, use a formula to determine which cells to format. Right here type equal to, and you open the bracket, and if the industry is clothing, so you go to the check. Okay, in industry, that's B1 is equals to clothing. Okay, all this in quotes in comma. Then both size is more than 1,000. So for the both size, just type D1 is more than 1,000. Okay, and close the bracket. So for maths, applies yellow fill. So the fill effect fill, select fill air, it put yellow. Okay, then the pattern style, then the gray pattern. So is 6.25 with a 6.5 gray pattern, 6.25. Okay, 6.25 gray, and click OK. Click OK as well. So that's applied. Okay, so task 2 mark completed. Now task 3. On the session schedule worksheet, use a function to add the current date and time to cell F1. On the session schedule worksheet, use a function to add the current date and time to cell F1. Okay, you go to the session schedule worksheet. So to cell F1, so So you select cell F1. Okay, so right here you type equals to the current date, just type now. Okay, that's done. Then just press enter. Okay, so that's the current date. So task 3 mark completed. Now task 4. Remove all duplicate records from the exhibitor worksheet. Do not remove any other records. Remove all duplicate records from the exhibitor worksheet. Do not remove any other records. Okay, so go to the exhibitor worksheet. So just click anywhere in the table to select it. Then you go to the data tab. Then the data tools group, you select remove duplicate. Okay, then click OK. Do not remove any other record. So task 4 mark complete. Now task 5. On the daily schedule worksheet, create a pivot chart that show only the sales and marketing sessions for Thursday. Position the pivot chart so the upper left corner of the chart is in cell D4. On the daily schedule worksheet, create a pivot chart that show only the sales and marketing sessions for Thursday. Position the pivot chart so the upper left corner of the chart is in cell D4. Okay, just go to the daily schedule worksheet. Okay, select it. Okay, insert a pivot chart. Go to the insert tab. Then in the chart group, you just select the pivot chart. So now this, go to the pivot chart, select this first, then you go to the pivot chart. Okay, let's lock this to the top. Okay, so you do that again. Go to the daily schedule worksheet. Now select the table, then go to the insert tab. Then in the charts group, you select pivot chart. Then you just select OK here. So right here, see for Thursday, actually the sales and marketing section for Thursday. So you come to the day, you select all, then only Thursday, select only Thursday and click OK. On Thursday, then click on that show only sales and marketing section for Thursday. So go to the the track, select only, select all, then select sales and marketing, sales and marketing sessions, and click OK. That is done, and just position the pivot chart so the upper left is in cell D4. This is cell D4, and go to chart and just place right here. Okay, so task 5 mark completed. Task 5 mark completed. Okay, so that is done, and great project. Correct. Project 4, Task 1. Modify Excel options so function results are not automatically calculated until a workbook is saved. Modify Excel options so functions results are not automatically calculated until a workbook is saved. Okay, to do this, just click on the File tab, then select Options, and select Formulas here, then under the calculation options, you change the automatic to manual. Okay, so that is done. Let's dog this to the top so that you can see the OK button. So I do that again, we do it again, File, then Options, and right here select the Formula tab. Okay, select the formulas and select manual. Now you click OK. That is done. Shift it back. So task 1 mark completed. Now task 2. In cell O, in cell C3 on the sales department worksheet, create an email address by appending the first name and last name to fusiontomo.com. Example, sam.art@fusiontomo.com. Use flash fill to create the email addresses for the remainder of the column. In cell C3 on the sales department worksheet, create an email address by appending the first name and last name to fusiontomo.com. Example, sam.art@fusiontomo.com. Use flash fill to create the email addresses for the remainder of the column. Okay, to do this, just select a sales department worksheet. Right here in C3, it says C3, you type sam.art at fusiontomo.com. Okay, fusiontomo.com, and now you just click on cell C4 and you go to the home tab. In the editing group you see field there, then select the drop down, then click to select flash fill. Okay, so the remaining has been done. Okay, create email for the remainder of the column. So that's it done. Now task 2 mark completed. And task 3. On the grain export worksheet, insert a function into cell H4 that will display the table sorted in ascending alphabetical order, first by product and then by country. On the grain export worksheet, insert a function into cell H4 that will display the table sorted in ascending alphabetical order, first by product and then by country. Okay, to do this, you go to the grain worksheet, select the grain worksheet, then insert H4. Okay, it's already selected. Insert a function that will display the table sorted in ascending alphabetical order, first by product and then by country. Okay, right here in the formula bar, you type equal to sort. Okay, sort by. Okay, so you open the function argument. So the array will be the data to sort. Okay, just select that and sort by array 1, sort by products. First by products, so you go to products, okay, right, I just select D3, select that down, okay, and sort order, I'll be ascending, one for ascending. Here you just type 1, then by array 2, sort by products, and then by country. So you come to country, B3, select down, okay, so sort order, I'll be 1 as well, in ascending order, 1 for ascending, so I'll click OK. Okay, that is done. It's sorted in ascending order. See, okay, that is done. So task 3 now completed. Now task 4. In cell B8 on the payment calculator worksheet, insert a function that uses the information provided in the B column to forecast how many payments will be required to pay off the loan. In cell B8 on the payment calculator worksheet, insert a function that uses the information provided in the B column to forecast how many payments will be required to pay off the loan. Okay, so you just go to the payment calculator worksheet, select B8. Okay, so inside the function, so we are going to use the function equals to NPAR function. So that returns the number of periods for an investment based on periodic constant payment at a constant interest rate. So period stands for number of periods. So it helps to calculate the number of periods required to pay off a loan, right? Pay off a loan or investment. So now let's open this. Just open the rate. Okay, the rate is 5%. As the annual interest. The annual interest rate is 5%. So in doing this, since the payments are made monthly, so you just divide this by 12. Okay, so the payment, that's the payment amount, that's 500. So these are outgoing payment, so it's going to be negative. So since outgoing payment, so just make it a negative value. So that's the outgoing payment. Then payment PV, that's the payment value. The payment value is right here as the loan amount. So the payment value, so that's the present value or the lump sum amount. The lump sum amount that a series of future payment is what now. So we just click here, that's for the payment value. Then the future payment as the FV, is the future value, or the future value rather, FV, future value, or a cash balance you want to attain after the last payment is made. So we will meter as 0, so this is usually 0. Then the type as well is the logical value, payment at the beginning of the period. Okay, so that's 1, and payment at the end of the period is 0. So, or we omit this. This is not just compulsory. You can just omit. You can omit it. Just click OK. So that is done. So the amount now is 130. That's the period. The payment period is 130. so to pay off the loan. So draw that the months to pay off the loan. So that's 130. So task 4 mark completed. Now task 5. Create a pivot table on a new worksheet named pivot table that shows the amount of each grain exported by each country. Use the data on the grain export worksheet. Position the new worksheet. Position the new worksheet as the rightmost tab. Create a pivot table on a new worksheet named pivot table that shows the amount of each grain exported by each country. Use the data on the grain export worksheet. Position the new worksheet as the rightmost tab. Okay, to do this, we go to the grain export worksheet. Okay, so grain export worksheet. Now create a pivot table on a new worksheet named pivot table that shows the amount of grain exported by each country. Okay, so we just select the grain export worksheet. So now from there, use the data on the grain export worksheet. So let's select here and go to the insert tab. You have the pivot table. Select the pivot table. Okay, so here is select okay, that is done. So now right here, okay, the amount of each grain exported by each country. So the country now, so just place it, just drop it, the row and the product as well. You just place it under it. Okay, product below it. Okay, now it's done. Then the metric tons as a value. Let's place it here as a value. Okay, now it's done. So the product now appear under the country now, and with the metric ton shown here. Okay, so then name the new worksheet pivot table. So just right click the new worksheet created, a name as pivot table. Pivot table. Okay, let's enter. So you can drag this one. Let's drag this. Okay, position the new worksheet as the rightmost tab. Just drag. So and just drag it to the last worksheet. Okay, that is done. Now task 5 mark completed. Okay, a great project. Correct. Project 5, task 1. On the rental revenue worksheet, create a group that includes only columns B through G. On the rental revenue worksheet, create a group that includes only columns B through G. Okay, to do this, just go to the rental revenue worksheet, you select it. Now you go to columns B through G, you select column B through G. Okay, so from here you just go to the data tab, then in the outline group you select group. Okay, that is done. Now task 1 mark completed, and task 2. On the farmers market worksheet, insert a subtotal for the cell range A3 through E87 that calculates the sum in the sales column for each location. On the farmers market worksheet, insert a subtotal for the cell range A3 through E87 that calculates the sum in the sales column for each location. Okay, to do this, you go to the farmers market worksheet, just select it, then to insert the subtotal in for the cell range A3 through E87. You select A3 through 87. Okay, then the sum, inside the subtotal, you go to the data tab in the outline group, you select subtotal, and at each change in location, for each location, so you change this code to location and use functions sum. Okay, sum for each location, so the sales in the sales column, so select sales and you click OK. So and see each of these locations now has subtotal. You have Ashdown total, then central point total, you have Eagle point total, then grant pass total, Medford total. Okay, so that's it. So task 2 mark complete. Now task 3. On the rental revenue worksheet, use an Excel forecasting feature to calculate a new rental fee that will result in a total projected revenue next year of $160,000. On the rental revenue worksheet, use an Excel forecasting feature to calculate a new rental fee that will result in a total projected revenue next year of $160,000. Okay, so you just select the rental revenue worksheet. Okay, so now as rental revenue worksheet, and go to cell H7, select cell H7. Now you select the formulas tab. Okay, forecasting. Excel forecasting feature to calculate a new rental fee that will result in a total projected revenue next year of $160,000. Okay, so that's for the projected revenue next year. Okay, let's go to the data tab. Now we have here the what if analysis. Let's select go seek. Okay, go seek. So set cell will be cell H8. Okay, so H8. So value should be $160,000. Okay, by changing cell H7. Rental revenue worksheet, use an Excel forecasting feature to calculate a new rental fee, result in a total projected revenue next year of $160,000. Okay, now it's done. Just click OK. That's done. Okay, so task 3 mark completed. Now task 4. On the rental revenue worksheet, use an Excel feature that graphically shows the source of the result in cell B8. On the rental revenue worksheet, use an Excel feature that graphically shows the source of the result in cell B8. Okay, to do this, you go to the rental revenue worksheet. Okay, so you select cell B8, cell B8. Now, feature that shows the result, that shows the source of the result in cell B8. Source of the result in cell B8. Okay, the feature that graphically shows the source result in cell B8. So we go to the formulas tab. Okay, in the formula auditing group, you select trace precedence. Trace precedence. Okay. Okay, so that shows that the cell B5 through B7 are referenced to generate this result $48,000. Okay, the arrow indicates that. Okay, so task 4 mark completed. Now task 5. On the projected sales next year worksheet, add a new column named 3% increase that projects sales if increased by 3%. On the projected sales next year worksheet, add a new column named 3% increase that projects sales if increased by 3%. Okay, to do this, go to the projected sales next year worksheet. Okay, now to add a column named 3% that projects sales if increased by 3%. Okay, so let's go to a pivot table. That pivot table analyze. Okay, so now in the calculations group, select the field items and set. Select calculator field, and right here type 3% increase. Okay, the formula have it equals sales times 3%. Let's multiply by 3% and plus sales. Okay, so here I project sales, select sales. Okay, click OK. That is done. So task 5 mark completed. Okay, 3% increase, 4% increase. Okay, it's done here. Okay, great project. Correct.
I believe you have learned a lot from the video. So to keep getting this kind of video, ensure you click on the subscribe button and drop your comment. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Bye.